Welcome back to the show, the eternal show. We're never gonna die. We're gonna live forever. I've had my dog for a year today, and Mike is wearing his ears really weird. And what rhymes with day? Bidet. He's a bidet. Mike is a bidet. He'll spit up your butt, hold it, clean up your poop. He's a human bidet. Now.
What a unique smack! I think you just invented a brand new way to create millions of jobs in America by creating a human bidet.
Everybody, vote for me for president. Just kidding. Please vote for Biden. But vote for me. That I can give you a job being a human bidet.
You know what, though? It's not going to create millions of jobs, because what we're going to really do is just repurpose the bathroom attendants who are a waste of space and make everyone uncomfortable. And we're just going to have them just lay down on an ironing board and spit up at your butt instead. So they're actually going to have a job now. I will tell you, though.
When I go into the bathroom and there's a bathroom attendant and there are mints that I would like to have one of after I've washed my hands, I really do appreciate the bathroom attendant being there to hand me the mint, because I know the mints aren't covered in pee and poop from the other people. But
Jessica.
But then I do want to pee for free. This isn't Europe.
Exactly. Jessica, the problem is that I, as a responsible millennial living in the digital world, do not carry cash money, and I do not want to tip someone for standing in the bathroom while I pee. And so I do not have that cash, and I do not want him or her, actually it's always a him if it's in the boys' bathroom with me, I do not want him to hand me a towel when I'm ready to dry my hands. I do not want him
I can get my own paper towel.
Give me a mint. I would like it if there was just a mint dispenser, or if there was just a towel dispenser. And I've
never seen a white bathroom attendant. So if you're gonna have them,
I have.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Not that I want white people to be serving me. That's not what I mean. I just mean that seems like a job that most people don't want to have. So.
Well, now that we're adding the new responsibility of human bidet, we might attract a whole new audience.
Gosh, who do I want to do that with me? Who do I want to bidet me? Like, who's going to be really good? Like the kid from Big Daddy who hawked a loogie.
The twins. Yep.
One of them's on Riverdale now.
Really? Old Zach and Cody on Riverdale.
Yeah, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody from Big Daddy on Riverdale. I don't know which one it is. It's just one of them. They're old enough now that they don't have to split the roles. They can each have their own roles now.
They can memorize all the lines for one person.
All the lines.
Very good. Welcome, everyone, to AAWI and Also With You podcast from Affable Idiots. Every week, join us and all your other lifelong friends as we laugh together. Ha 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 ha. As we share secrets. You got a secret?
I smashed my finger between the desk and my chair just a moment ago, and my boobs stopped the recording when I was singing the first time.
True story. And we strengthen our friendships on this off-color Mr. Rogers-esque show. I am one of your hosts, Chad, middle name McGillicuddy, Innes. And we have with us here our other guest, our other co-host, Jesse.
The permanent guest host.
Jesse Pujols Niels. One singular Neil, sorry. Jesse Pujols Neil.
Multiple Pujols. Ew, that makes me think of clusters, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
And all of you other lifelong friends out there listening and watching across Globo, I am so happy to be here with all of you.
And also with you.
Jesse, Pujols is a gentleman's last name, Albert Pujols, who plays for Major League Baseball.
Is that Pujols?
No, it's Pujols, I've decided.
Because I know of a Pujols in baseball.
See, I thought it was Pujols. Let's look it up.
Pretty sure.
Pujols.
Gosh, I hope it's
It is
Pujols.
Albert Pujols. Pujols. Jose Alberto Pujols Alcantara is a Dominican professional baseball first baseman and designated hitter for the LA Angels.
Ooh, do you think he's in the outfield?
No.
Oh, no, he's a first baseman. He's not in the outfield.
That's right.
I wonder what Angels
Albert
are in the outfield there.
Pujols.
Pujols. Well, Pujols.
Jesse,
Right.
I want to start today by asking you a question, and I want you to answer honestly. This is separate, unrelated.
Not the question.
Not the question. I was reading.
What?
I'm going to take you on a very short journey. I realized, even more so than I've already known before, how difficult it must be for people who speak English as a second language to understand the words that are coming out of our mouths as people who speak English as our primary language. As I was reading a tweet the other day,
Oh, no.
and the tweet, I don't remember anything that it was about, but I remember that it started with the word ion, I-O-N. And I was like...
That was somebody saying, I'm gonna?
No.
Is that what they were doing?
Well, I-M-A, I'm gonna. I understand that, but I had never seen ion, and I thought it was I thought it was a typo. And it said something like, ion think, blah, 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 blah. I was like, what? What are they trying to say? And then I realized that it was somebody similar to Ima, somebody saying, I don't.
I'm gonna.
And then I started thinking to myself, like, and then I was like, do I say that? And then I was like, I don't think I say that. And then I said that in my brain. I was
Then
like,
you said, I don't think I say that.
I say that. I don't. That's literally the two sounds that I make. I don't think that I say that.
That's weird.
I don't say the
Because when
duh.
I
I don't
heard
say the tuh. I
ion
say
or
ion.
ion, I was thinking I'm gun. Like I'm gonna. No, you're right. It can't be I'm gonna because it would be Iona.
Uh-huh.
I don't think so.
Exactly. I don't think so.
You say I don't think so.
Yep. I almost never pronounce the D. Or, as they would say, I don't
think
pronounce the
so.
D.
That's weird.
And I don't pronounce the T.
I don't think so. Well, see,
So
if you're gonna start a word, if the word after starts with a T, like think, I would say I don't think so. I don't. So it has like a sharp end for me, but it's not a T. I don't think so.
It's more like a
don't
glottal
think so.
stop. Like your glottis closes. I don't. But it's not. It's not
It
a
totally
a
shuts back there.
Yeah.
I don't think so. That's wild. Because I'm sitting here when you were saying that, and you're like, yeah, I started thinking about how I say it. And I was like, I always say the D. I don't think so. No. Would you do that? No, I don't think so. But then I was like, but sometimes I will. Like when I'm living here in Chicago, I am more likely to pronounce my D than when I'm in North Carolina.
Sure.
That's for damn sure. Because in North Carolina, the Southern drawl is very much like, take out what you don't need. And
Especially,
push it together.
like I started thinking about that too with my mom. My mom, I guess she picked it up. She's not a fan of the blue collar comedy fellas, but she says this all the time now. She says, I don't care who you are, that's funny. Or I don't care who you are. And I was just like,
that's funny. I don't care who
I
you
don't
are.
care who you are versus I don't care who you are.
I don't care who you
I don't
are.
care who you are.
I don't care who you are. What the
And I was
fuck?
like, how the fuck do we expect people who don't speak this as a first language to understand the words that are coming out of our mouths?
Do other languages do this same thing? Mm-hmm. Like,
Yes,
right?
they do.
They have to, right?
Yes. That's why, like, when we learn Spanish, we learn the proper pronunciation of all of these things, and then when we hear people speak it in real life, we're like, I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth.
When people would say "jo" instead of "yo," I was like, huh? But then I learned. I was like, okay, got it. It just depends on where you're from, like which country or which region you're from.
Yeah.
Some people say "jo" instead of "yo." And like the B's and the V's in Spanish.
Yep.
I don't care who you are.
I don't care who you are.
That's ridiculous. There's no word there. There's like no you. No,
Nope.
even you isn't there. It's you. I don't care because it's cur, not care. I don't care who you are. There's no word in there.
And to think about, like, in this day of, like, digital voice assistants, you say that to a Siri or an Alexa or a Google Assistant, and it knows exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Somehow. Freaking technology, man.
That's
Chris.
wild. I don't care who you are. That's fucking with me. I know. I remember the blue collar comedy tour. The blue collar guys always had like a segment where they were saying like with the word "widja did ya."
Yes.
You didn't bring the whiskey, widja did ya? Like, I remember they had a segment in their stand-up about that. One of them did. And that's how I have always remembered Widya Did Ya. Like, you didn't happen to bring the ice, Widya Did Ya? That's wild. That's wild. I don't care who you are.
Okay, now here's the actual question I wanted to ask you. Tell me about TV that you've been watching this week, TV and or movies. And then I have some things to tell you. Go.
Hot. Okay. So, Casey and I on Monday, I think, which is, we're going to count it as this week, even though it's Sunday.
Yeah.
We finished the last 2 episodes of The Haunting of Bly Manor. And I think we sort of discussed this a little bit last week.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but not for what it was. Like, I thought the story was interesting. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a really interesting story and whatnot. And Casey, after we finished it, looked in, because it was based on the work of Henry James. So he looked into that, and like, this series was based off of The Turning of the Screw, his novel. And I thought it was interesting. But like, I thought it was well written. I thought the acting was was good. I really liked. There are a lot of actors in it that I really like, and but I was like, I wanted scare, because like the haunting of Hill House had some really good scares in it.
That was a spooky show.
It was soup spoops. Also, the guy who played Uncle Henry, I was like, his accent is fucking weird. What is going on here?
Who was Uncle Henry?
He was the one who, like, their only surviving like relative who lived in London and like never called them back until he showed up at the end, because he had his alter ego, and then he ended up taking them on.
I watched the first 3 episodes.
You gotta finish it. It's good, unless you absolutely hated it just in general. I think it's worth finishing, and some of the spook picks up further, and it's like late for the spook, but it's still not that scary.
Yeah.
But his accent, I was like, what is this fucking accent? And I looked him up, and he played the dad in The Haunting of Hill House. And so he's American, so his English accent in this is totally fake, but I love it. I don't know how the English people feel, but I loved it. I was like, this is the most ridiculous English accent that you think of for like a really like hoity-toity posh rich person in England. Like, yeah, that tracks. But he played Elliot in E.T.
Elliot.
I was like, what the fuck? He's still acting. I mean, Drew Barrymore is, of course he is. But so we finished that. We are still watching Lovecraft Country, which I really like. We watched episode 2 of Fargo, which has Chris Clowers in it.
I haven't seen him yet. I'm all caught up on it, and I haven't seen him yet.
Yes, you have.
You
just didn't realize it was him. So do you know when the two girls escape the jail and they go and one of them gets the girl's clothing from the female's bathroom, and then a man comes out of the bathroom and says, which one of you wants to go around with whatever? And then she goes and takes his like cowboy clothes on episode 2.
Yeah.
That was Chris Clowers.
The cowboy clothes guy?
Yeah, who comes out? He's just there. Yeah,
no.
That was Chris.
Oh my gosh!
He comes out, and it was great because he's like in all these big cowboy clothes. He's got the hat on and like the dumb outfit. And he goes, "Which one of you wants to go around with old Buck or whatever?"
I totally did not even recognize him. I saw that.
You got to go back and watch
for like
that.
5 days a week for years, and I never even recognized him in that scene.
You got to go back and watch it. Well, just watch that. Just watch the beginning of that episode. You'll see it when they're at the place where they're in the bathroom. So watch that. This is such a me thing. You know how I loved the Vampire Diaries? And
oh, yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but Vampire Diaries. Well, I recently went back and rewatched the whole series.
Of course.
It stands up. I still love it. It's not good. It's bad. Arguably, it's not a great show, but I still love it. And there's a spin-off of that has 2 seasons called Legacies, which I tried to watch once. I was like, this is way too bad. But then after I rewatched The Vampire Diaries and I was back in that world, it's like, oh, hell yeah. Yes. It sucks, but I love it. And then it sort of picks up. But the same people who did that show are doing the reboot of Roswell.
Roswell. I haven't thought about that show in 20 years.
Yep. So they did a reboot. I think they've done season 3 now. But they did a reboot of it. And it's the same people that did that. And there are a lot of the same actors that have been in the Vampire Diaries spinoff, the originals, and the spinoff Legacies. But also, there's some people that were in Pretty Little Liars, which I loved.
Oh, yes. And this is like all of your wet dream shows.
It's my wet dream. It's so great. So, because my work hasn't been incredibly busy, at least not consistently, I just constantly have TV on while I'm working so I can keep my brain doing something other than hating the staying at home all the time and not being able to leave. That sucks. So that's what I've been watching, and I've been really loving it. And so now when I sit down, I'm like, I'm just going to watch some of my Aliens. Aliens.
Be good.
But that's the extent. That was the long answer to your question. But I've just been watching some Aliens. Oh! There's this new movie on Netflix called Vampires versus the Bronx. And Casey and I thought it was going to be bad. I thought it was going to be bad.
Jesse, it is bad. I can tell just from the title that it is bad.
No, it's not. It is. I'm serious. Like, I thought it was going to be bad because the title is Vampires versus the Bronx. So it's like, this movie is not going to be good. It's written by I forget who, but they've been like prominent writers on SNL, and like, it's really good. It's listed as horror comedy. There's not a lot of horror to it. But Casey and I watched that on Friday night, and I was like, what the hell? This movie is like, some of the writing and some of the acting is like, but it's one of those really good, like, Halloween-y type movies that doesn't take itself seriously and is actually pretty good.
Okay.
And if you're wanting to watch a movie, like, if you want to watch a movie that you don't have to sit and pay full attention to, but you want to have fun, you want a movie that you're going to really, like, laugh at and just kind of enjoy, Vampires versus the Bronx is, like, it's great. It's great. But, okay, that's the end. I'm done.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
I watched, as I mentioned, 3 episodes of Bly Manor, and it was not what I wanted. I wanted spooky sequel to Hill House, and I got chilly love story and, like, occasionally a non-scary ghost that shows up. That's super obvious. And then I know that apparently every single scene has a ghost in it if you're paying attention. But it's just like, if I don't see it, then it's not worth having in there because it's not scary. So I was not hooked by that show.
It was not toward.
But my parents continued watching it all the way through the end. My sister watched it all the way through the end. My brother watched it all the way through the end. And they all said basically the same thing. The last episode is the only episode that's really worth it. And
it's not even really that scary.
Yeah, and it's not scary. But, like, the last episode makes the whole season worth it. So, then I watched... There's a new films from Blumhouse.
Blumhouse? I always thought it was Blumhouse, but I don't know.
I think it's Blumhouse. That sounds right. There are films... Like, they're doing a bunch of films, one a month, I think, for Amazon. And I'm trying to remember what the name of the one that we tried to watch yesterday is.
Oh, Blumhouse did The Invisible Man, which was
Blumhouse has a very good record when it comes to movies, usually. But what we watched yesterday was abhorrent in a very bad way.
No.
IMDb.com.
Was it The Accidental Husband? No, that's 2009.
McPoyle, Sunny in Philadelphia.
Was it Fantasy Island?
No.
The Hunt? You Should Have Left?
No, it was not The Hunt. I did watch The Hunt.
Oh, here we go. By Amazon. The Lie, Black Box, Evil Eye Nocturne.
It's the one that stars the McPoyle brother who drinks milk. I mean, both brothers drink milk, but Liam McPoyle, Jimmy Simpson. It was also produced by him. Let's see.
So it wasn't that one.
Let's see. He was in Westworld. I don't even know if I knew the name
I
of
was
it.
so hot for him in Westworld.
Is it Unhinged? Is that? Nope, that's the Russell Crowe movie. Anyway, I'm trying to tell you this movie to tell you to stay away from it.
Which one was it? I'm on their Wikipedia right now.
Was it Silk
Was
Road?
it The Lie? Let's see. Cast. That's Peter Skarsgård. Are you sure it was a Blumhouse?
I'm pretty sure it was.
What did you say his name is? Jimmy Peterson?
Jimmy Simpson. Jimmy with an I on the end.
Let's look at his IMDb.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Oh, he's a November Boy.
I can't see.
Was
Under the
it
Silver Lake, maybe?
Symphony
No.
Unhinged? He wasn't Unhinged.
No, but that's the Russell Crowe movie that came out in theaters this year in August.
Was it Psych 2? Lassie
No.
Come Home?
No.
Are you
Anyway.
sure it was him?
It 100% was him because I remember seeing his name on the credits as well. But he's the main character. Anyway, the point of it is, it is absolutely fucking terrible. It reminded me of that show Fact or Fiction, which is like the Unsolved Mysteries ripoff, where they're like, some of the stories we showed you tonight were fact, some of them were fiction. Remember what it is? But
Was it
was
Stay
like
Alive?
made for Nickelodeon. Is it what?
Stay Alive?
Stay Alive.
No. I'm just really wanting to know now.
I'm gonna text Morgan.
Yeah, text
Text
Morgan.
Morgan.
She'll
What
know.
was the name of the awful movie we watched yesterday?
Into the Dark?
Okay, she'll text me back hopefully in just a second and let me know.
Okay, hot.
Hot.
Hot to twat.
So anyway, watch that. It was terrible. We were laughing the whole time. It was and it was not supposed to be a funny movie.
It was The Cure for
Stay
Wellness.
away from that. Oh God, Cure for Wellness was also bad.
That movie was so bad.
But I also watched. Well, I'm watching. I'm a little over an hour into the movie. It called The Trial of the Chicago 7.
That's on my list.
It should be
Such a
number
good
one on your
cast.
list. It should be number one on your list. It is written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, who did West Wing and Newsroom and all those.
Casey and I love to say Sorkin with me when we're having a conversation, but one of us needs to go get something from another room. We always do that. Yep.
So
Continue.
the dialogue is witty. It is sharp. It is smart.
It's such a good cast.
It is such a good cast. It's got the guy Jeremy What's-His-Face from Succession in it, who plays one of the hippie leaders. It's got
Sacha Baron
JGL,
Cohen.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's got so many people. It's got so many good people.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen. Yep, Sacha Baron Cohen. It's a phenomenal cast. It's about the protests that took place during the Democratic National Convention protesting the Vietnam War and the draft. But this is specifically about the trial that happened 5 months later. Yeah, in Chicago, in Grant Park.
Chicago.
I have previously attended Pokemon Go Fest in Grant Park. So I have a really good anchor
Dweeb.
to where this is.
You can totally relate.
Yes. But no, it is fantastic. That's why I
Eddie
was a little bit
Redmayne.
late today, is because I was watching, I was enthralled in a really, really great scene, and I started to cry a little bit, and I was like, I can't do it. But it's funny, it is tragic, it is heartbreaking, it makes you look back at what's happening in America now, obviously, like so many things do, but it should be number one on
And
your
the
list.
protests that have been here in Chicago, and then the police being
Exactly.
brutal.
Uh-huh. It is, yeah. It should 100% be number one on your list. I'm only just over halfway through it, though, and it's already one of my favorite movies this
2-ish
year.
hours, right?
I think it's like 220.
Yeah.
So you should
I wanna
watch
see
that.
it.
You should watch it.
I've added it to my list in Netflix, so I don't forget, because we know
Be
how my
good.
brain works.
Be
I'm going
good.
to have to watch it.
But we are almost halfway into our episode, or half hour into our episode, so let's move on. Let's talk about everything that we're actually going to do.
We haven't even started.
We haven't even started. Start with some healthy competition. And Jesse, we have something new this week that is going to be developing over the course of the rest of the week. It is a game that we will not know the results of until next time that we record on Sunday. This, first of all, recap of last week's game.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Last week's game, Crime Bands, was a super fun game that I was not good at. And
you forgot the explosions.
We put up a poll, but then we realized that we put up the episode on Friday, and it wasn't even early Friday, and so
some of you probably aren't even up to date on us.
This poll. Exactly. Yeah. We're only giving you 3 days to take this poll, and it's in quarantine when not a lot of people are getting a lot of time to listen to podcasts right away. So we're gonna rethink about how we do polls for the next little bit. So more news to come on that shortly. This week's game, Best Picture is the name of the game. And Jesse, we are doing a tournament. A tournament, as they say.
A tournament?
A tournament. A Tour de France tournament.
Attorney.
Best Picture. Best Picture is about trying to figure out what is the best Picture winning film at the Oscars, the Academy.
Oh my gosh, are you doing brackets?
We are going to do a bracket, yes. We are doing a bracket. What will happen is we have a list of all the movies that have won Best Picture all the way back to 1928. So almost a century of pictures.
They're going to go head to head.
Yes. So we're doing a draft today, Jesse. Yes. So we're going to both pick 8 films from that list.
This is so sports, but not sports.
Right? God, it's like fantasy football.
I'm so
boys
freaking
things.
excited. So
we have 8 each. We're going to go back and forth picking a different film from this list. And over the next week, we're going to put out 15 polls to figure out which Best Picture is the best picture.
Yes. Okay.
So, for any of you listening at home that would like to kind of just play along and see what movies are out there and things like that, you can just Google Best Picture winners from the last or by year, and there are a ton of articles that come up. We're looking at one from today.com called Complete List of Every Best Picture Oscar Winner Ever. So it starts at 2020 with Parasite all the way back to 1928.
Should we have Siri flip a coin to see who goes first?
No. What will happen is I'm going to let you go first because I've already had time to think about this game, and this is mostly a surprise to you right now, other than having looked at this list of movies.
Well, I know what I'm going to pick for my first one.
Okay. So we will go back and forth.
Movies.
Here's how it's going to work. We're going to pick 8 films each right now.
Okay.
Starting today on Twitter at Affable Idiots, we will be putting polls up, putting these movies head to head.
Well,
so people are going to be voting.
Today being Thursday.
No, today being Sunday.
Okay. So if you're
people
listening,
won't quite have context for this unless they've watched it live. But so we're just gonna it's gonna be happening in Twitter. They don't have to have listened to this to figure out what's going on. We can put out these polls saying, "Hey, which movie is better?"
It'll be self-explanatory.
Yep.
Perfect. Hot.
So we're gonna be putting out 15 polls. We have 8 each, so there's gonna be 8 polls, and then we're gonna narrow it down and then narrow it down. So about 3 a day for the next 6 to 7 days, so that we will find out who has won by next Sunday.
Perfect.
Here are the stakes. Whoever wins gets to force the other person to make a drawing. We commission them to make a drawing of your choice. Whatever you want them to draw, they have to draw it.
A drawing. It's a drawing of a key.
So, Jesse, looking at this list of movies, I think we've both remarked already how many of these were musicals. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
We have... there was Chicago on there. There was The Sound of Music, My Fair Lady, West Side Story.
Potentially Oliver if it was a musical.
Oliver, we couldn't remember. So there's a wide variety of movies. I'm in going through this.
The Hamlet without Mel Gibson.
The Sans Mel Gibson Hamlet. I'm surprised how many of these movies I feel like aren't representative of the best movies that have happened, at least in the last 20 years.
Honestly,
Like, I look at this list,
feel
I was like, there are so many good things missing.
Honestly, I feel like the movies that win best film aren't always what I would say are the best film. Like, there are some on this list that I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is great. Now, I can't really compare a lot of them to the other movies that were out at the time because my brain just doesn't remember them. But I'm with you. It's like,
case in point,
a lot
Shape
of
of
these
Water.
movies,
Was that really the best picture that year?
it was not. It wasn't. It was an
Green
enjoyable
Book?
movie. My mother hated it. Any movie that wins an Oscar, my mom usually hates. I'm not kidding. She's like, it's too artsy. They never have the right ending.
All right, Jesse, in true draft style, you get the first pick. We cannot obviously pick the same movie. So what is your first pick?
I gotta pick Parasite. I really loved that movie.
See, I'm gonna let you have Parasite, obviously, but
You're gonna let me have it?
I had a thought that maybe we would eliminate Parasite from it because of recency bias. Like, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I just saw that and it's amazing."
Do you want to?
No, we're not going to eliminate it because if it's the best picture, then it needs to be known.
It's such a good movie, and I love almost any Korean film. Anything Korea shits out, I pretty much love it. They are so good at making movies. I don't know what it is. Almost anything I've seen that is Korean, I'm like, fuck yes. I don't know what I don't know what they have in Korea, like what brains they have that are doing whatever they're doing. But I'm just like, yes, I love it.
Yes, it's great.
So I gotta.
So you have Parasite as your first pick, which won the Oscar in 2020 for Best Picture. For my first pick, am going to choose 1977's Rocky.
Ooh, that's a good movie.
I have never seen Rocky, but I know that a lot of people fucking love it. So
that's true.
I figured if I want to win,
I gotta pick movies that other people are gonna like for sure.
Exactly, yeah, because this is all about Twitter being all up in it.
Is Parasite going up against Rocky? Is that how this works?
No. So it's actually going to be, it's going to end up being your film versus my film. Like the best of your 8 versus the best of my 8.
Okay.
So your number 1 will go up against your number 2, and my number 1 will go up against my number 2, and we're going to meet in the middle.
And then whoever wins each of those goes.
Right.
Okay. Hot. All right. I got to pick my number 2 now.
Yep, your number 2.
Damn. Okay. There's another one I know I want in here. Oh, gosh. But do I want to pick it yet? Do I want to risk you getting it?
When I look at these movies, the 90s was a fucking great decade for movies.
Yeah, it was. Oh, the 90s was fantastic. Gosh, I don't know. Do I want this one to go up against that one, or do I want this one? Because I'm afraid you're going to take this one. And I think I want this one. Damn. I'm going to choose Birdman for my number 2. I think these are two good movies to go against each other. I do too. I think these are two good movies that are within a relative amount of time to each other. They'll be good against each other. I think that'll be a hard battle, and whoever wins will be the what am I trying to say? The one that was supposed to win.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Like the pairings right now, like obviously, yeah, one of them will beat out the other one. It doesn't matter, but ultimately, as the movies that are going to get down to the single one would have happened that way no matter what because of the pairings.
Yeah. You
That's
true.
Okay, so I have Rocky. I am also going to put in there for my number 2. I'm going to put in Forrest Gump.
Great film.
Forrest Gump. There was something that went up against Forrest Gump that same year. Oh, it was Shawshank Redemption. lost to Forrest Gump.
That was a great movie, too. I love Shawshank.
I honestly think Shawshank's the better movie.
Or if you're watching Riverdale, Shank Shaw. So fucking stupid.
Right.
Okay. So my number 3. Damn. Okay. Number 3 for me, I think, is going to have to be... all right.
The anticipation.
2002's A Beautiful Mind.
Ooh, Russell Crowe.
It's a great movie. We had to watch that movie in my abnormal psych class as homework, which was A, great homework, and B, I already had seen the movie and I watched it again and I loved it. It's just so great. It's right up my alley.
That's a great pick. Great pick. I am going to see. Part of me thinks like I've watched a lot of these movies, especially in the last like 15 years of them. Mm-hmm. But some of them, I think, like the general public probably hasn't seen them. Things like Moonlight or Spotlight. Lots of things with light in them.
All the light movies.
All the light movies. But I'm going to go back in time all the way to the 70s to 1976 with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, that's a great movie. I love that movie.
Oh, that's something else that I watched this week was all of Ratchet. Which is the
What did you think? I got 2 episodes in and I was like, do I want to keep watching this? Do you recommend I finish it?
It is... Do not watch it for its connection to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, I gathered that just from the first 2 episodes I've seen.
Yep. It doesn't really have any connection whatsoever to it. Do not watch it for like, oh my gosh, this is going to be like a really great show about all sorts of different types of murder and like really crazy unethical psychology practices and things. That's what I thought it was going to be from the first couple episodes. By episode 4 or 5, you really realize, oh, this is a lesbian love story.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I
that's
sort of
about
picked up on that just a little bit. I think I might be on episode 3.
It has some beautiful cinematography and set design and like the period piece of it. Like it's very gorgeous to watch.
Well, and I was the reason I was nervous about it is because it's the same people that do American Horror Story. And I used to like American Horror Story. And the longer it goes on, it's a classic Ryan Fulchuk, Brad Murphy. No, Ryan Murphy, Brad Fulchuk, whatever. Yeah. The first few seasons are good, and then it all falls to shit. Nip Tuck, anything else they've ever done. So I was nervous about it. And I was watching Ratchet, and I was like, is this just another American Horror Story? Is it just that, but they're calling it Ratchet? But what I do love, if the lesbian love story is between the 2 people that I think it's between, which is Ratchet and the other lady from when they go to the bar, you know, when one of them takes them to the bar and she's like, why did you bring me here? That woman, they're lesbians IRL. And I love that casting.
Oh.
I just like lesbians getting to play lesbians. Instead of having to play straight people. Love it.
It's the sequel series. Do you remember the Shorties Watching Shorties?
No.
You don't remember that?
Stupid, no. It was a stupid title. I love it.
It was an animated show on Comedy Central, and it was I'm pretty sure this is what it was, if I remember correctly. It was 2 babies, animated babies, watching short clips of stand-up comedians that have been animated. So it was Shorties watching short clips.
Shorties watching Shorties.
And this is now lesbians playing lesbians.
I love it.
Jesse, what's your number 4 pick? Do you think it's
worth my finishing?
It's nice and fun to have on in the background, but just know that there's going to be some melodrama to it. It's going to be kind of corny a little bit at times, but... Classic.
It's those
fun to
2
watch while you're
people
working.
that are running the show. All right, hot. Okay, my pick number 4 to go up against A Beautiful Mind. Oh, man, do I want to put this one against it? I don't even know how I would vote on these based off of what I'm picking. Okay, let me just make sure. Let me just make sure this is what I want to do. That's a great movie. I fucking love that movie. Okay, I think I have to. My number 4 pick, The Silence of the Lambs.
Ah, good pick. Good pick. What year was that?
Oh, that was 1992.
Silence of the Lambas.
Lambas. Lamborghini.
Another good prequel series.
So good.
Hannibal.
Oh, the Hannibal, yeah.
Yeah.
The Hannibal.
The Hannibals. So here's another one because I'm looking to win this thing. I'm going to go with another 70s movie, 1973's The Godfather.
Oh, fabulous
another movie
film.
that I have never seen, but I know people fucking love.
Especially dads.
Oh, yeah. And there's going to be a lot of dads voting in this.
Oh, so many dads. Oh, speaking of dads, he's not a dad yet, but he just got married. Matt from Ree.
Yes, our good friend Matt from RI, Matt from Rhode Island, just got married yesterday.
He got married on the 17th yesterday. I saw it on the Instagram. Congratulations.
I actually meant to bring that up in the things I was watching because he had told us, oh, yeah, it's going to be live stream on Facebook Live on the church's page. And so we were all like refreshing that Facebook page for a good 2 hours, and it never went live. And then yesterday afternoon, he texted us. He's like, "I don't know what happened. It didn't go live, but here's some pictures." I was like, "Oh, I'm so happy." Amazing. But I didn't.
That's fantastic.
Watch a wedding.
Well, congratulations on your marriage. I'm sorry that your technology didn't do what it should have, but it's okay.
It is okay.
I'm sure you have it recorded, hopefully, so you can watch it yourself in the future when you're 80.
All right, Jesse, so we are halfway through. Just to recap so far, you have Parasite, Birdman, A Beautiful Mind, and Silence of the Lambs.
So good.
I have Rocky, Forrest Gump, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and The Godfather.
Such good movies. Okay. Okay. Man, okay. Do I want to pick this one? This was a good movie. What would I put it up against? Ooh, that one too, though. Oof. Okay. I choose 1989's
Batman.
Rain Man. Batman.
Rain Man. Ooh. Rain Man. Not. What is his name? It's not Dennis Hopper. What is his name?
Dennis. If you hadn't asked me, it's Tootsie.
Yeah,
it's
good old Tootsie Man.
Dennis. I'm Googling. Dennis. Ooh, Hans Zimmer did the music.
Swarmy.
Dustin.
Dustin Hoffman.
We were very
Hoffman,
close.
Hopper, Dennis, Dustin.
So close. You were basically there. You basically said his name.
All right. So I'm going to fast forward into the future a little bit.
Okay.
And God, there's so many good movies. It's hard to choose. I think I'm going to pick something from the 90s. As we kind of mentioned, the 90s was a great fucking decade for movies.
It really was.
I think I'm going to pick 1994's Schindler's List.
Oh.
Again, I'm
Liam
pulling out the
Neeson
big
is
guns.
so
I'm
good at
looking to
making
win.
lists.
That's why he hired me to play Oscar Schindler.
That's a good movie. It's a great fucking movie.
Not a great movie to watch with you after you've had Chipotle.
I got little Tootie. Little Rudy Tootie. Sorry.
Tootsie.
Okay. All right. What is it? 6? Is it 6
This
for
is
me
your number
now?
6. Yep. 3 left.
All right. Let's see here. To go against Rain Man. Jeez. I think I might have to go into the 90s again. I think. Hold on. Let me just make sure that's what I want to do. Yeah. I'm gonna. Is that what I want to do? I think so. I'm gonna go into the 90s.
Okay.
I'm gonna choose 1996's Braveheart.
Oh, Braveheart! Hell yeah! Mel Gibson.
Yeah. Scottish people.
I very quickly work out which one is the correct movie. But I always, when I hear Braveheart, think, is that Dragonheart? No, not Dragonheart with Sean Connery, who plays the dragon, but Braveheart with Mel Gibson.
Who plays the Scotsman.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to pull out the big guns, Jesse Neal.
Pull them out.
And I'm going to rewind 76 years to 1944's Casablanca.
That's a great film. We did a quote from it. Or what did we do? We did Casablanca. Ooh, a line from Casablanca was in the Google Translate.
That's right.
The Google Translate game. There are so many great movies from back then.
Yep.
From like the 40s, 50s, and 60s that are also just like way too long.
Yes, very much way too long. You know what I love about Casablanca, though?
Way too long.
Is that it didn't get the Gone with the Wind treatment, where it fast forward to today and it's completely inappropriate.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
still
yeah.
a good movie.
Casablanca is still pretty. It's as so far as I can remember, it holds up.
Yep. All right, Jesse, you have two more choices.
All right, so my number 7. What am I going to choose for my number 7? I think I have to choose because I love this movie so much, and I've been talking about this movie a lot recently. No Country for Old Men.
Ooh. No Country. I made a joke. I made a reference, I guess. I mentioned that I want to see somebody. Maybe it was. I don't remember what it was, but I said I want to see somebody go to all the cattle. Oh, it was something on Respawning Fire. We did something about like how there was a farm and stuff like that, and you had to kill all the farm animals. That's how we were going to get back at somebody. Was take over their farm and kill the farm animal. And you walk around to each one of them, the compressor thing, and just go right.
That's what they did in Fargo, episode 2, the episode with Chris Clowers.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
I only remember this so well because I just watched that episode the other day.
All right, so that was your penultimate
that was my 7.
pick.
So this is my 8. This is my final
Hold on.
pick.
I got to pick my number 7.
Oh, you did already pick your number. I mean, you didn't. You did not pick your number 7.
I have not picked my penultimate pick yet.
Pick your penultimate pick.
Pick my penultimate pick. This is tough. I want to do something a little bit more recent as well.
There's so many good movies.
And it looks like I am going to go. Oh, this is so hard because I want to pick Moonlight.
Yeah.
But I know that like basically no one saw Moonlight, so no one's going to vote for Moonlight.
My mom saw it. She didn't like it.
Because it won an Oscar.
It. She doesn't like any of them that win Oscars. That's just my mom.
I'm going to pick then 2000's American Beauty.
Oh, good one. It's a good one.
Good old canceled Kevin Spacey.
This is what canceled Kevin Spacey, or no?
No, I said this is good old canceled Kevin Spacey.
Canceled Kevin Spacey. Yes. Before he was
that
canceled.
is now his title. Instead of Mr., Mrs., or Doctor, it is canceled.
Canceled
Kevin
he
Spacey.
He is CKS. CKS.
All right, Jesse, this is your last opportunity. Pick an Oscar-winning Best Picture film to be a contender for Best Picture.
To go up against that one movie called No Country for Old Men.
Correctamundo.
Shit. All right, let's see here. I don't know who I want to go up against that. Like, that's a good movie, but is it a Valiant? Is it like a... I'm afraid to pick a movie that's too dissimilar because it's really hard to compare them when it's apples and oranges.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm going to go with... 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 I'm going Damn. Okay. All right. We're going to do this. We're going to do it. What are we going to go with, though? How are we going to do it?
How is it going to happen? We're going to do it, but what are we going to go with?
But how are we going to do it? We're going to do it. But how? Okay, let's see. None of these. I don't know these, and I'm not picking that one. Man, this is tough. This is tough. This is tough, Mike. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm just having a really hard time. Okay. I just don't think any of these can go up against this movie. Okay. That's a good one, too. Maybe I should choose that one. That's a solid one. Okay, all right. That's in the running. Let's see. None of you know which one I'm saying is in the running.
No, we have no idea what you're saying.
Let's see. What are we gonna do? That's a good one. It's not gonna. It can't go up against it. That can't go up against it. He did brown face for that movie. Gandhi.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he did brown face for that, but I realized he wasn't as dark. Like Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Isn't Indian? I don't think.
I think he is actually, but he's. I think he's like half Indian or something like that. But he was nowhere near the shade of brown that they needed him to be for that, so they completely browned him up.
Which is just not good.
Yeah.
Just not good. Okay.
I just read a BuzzFeed article like 2 weeks ago called "All the Times We Saw Brownface in Movies That Were Not Okay" or something like that.
Yeah, I saw one that was like people playing roles they shouldn't have, and it had like Scarlett Johansson as the person from Ghost in the Shell, and the Redmayne guy as the transgendered woman.
Yep, we read the same article.
Jared Leto as a transgendered woman. Yeah, we must have looked at the same article. Okay, all right. Let's see. None of those are good enough. I don't know why those won. Okay. No. This movie was so good. But I don't know that it can compare. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm torn between.
Okay. You're like Natalie and Bruglia.
Yeah, I'm torn. I don't remember the tune. I'm torn. That's not the tune, but you know what I mean. So I'm torn.
I'm cold and I am shamed, lying naked on the floor.
Yes, there it is. We found it. Into something real.
I can see the perfect sky is torn.
You're all out of faith.
I'm already
torn. Stupid. Okay, I'm torn between. I'm Natalie Bruglia's torn between The Departed and The Godfather Part 2.
Oh.
Because these are both really good movies.
Departed, that's Martin Scorsese's Oscar.
Yeah, it is.
True story.
Gosh, that's such a good movie.
I while you were going like, oh, am I going to get this one or this one or this one? I started to write The Departed as my 8th pick as well.
Did you?
But then I was like, let me not assume she's not going to pick The Departed.
Well, now I want to pick The Departed. I feel like now I should pick The Departed.
I have already written something to replace it, though.
Is it The Godfather Part 2?
It is not.
What was your number 7 pick?
My number 7 pick was American Beauty. Cancel Kevin Spacey. CKS.
Cancel Kevin Spacey. Spakey. I think, and this is not just because you said this is what you'd written down and said, maybe I should wait.
Yep.
I just feel like I know this one better. I think I'm going to go with The Departed, which is 2007, the year before No Country for Old Men, which was 2008. I mean, the Godfather Part 2 is the only sequel on here, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I just don't know the
Lord
Godfather
of the Rings,
movies.
Return of
Oh. That's a surprise to me. Is that the second or is that the last one?
What's the last one?
Is that the You Shall Not Pass one?
No, that's the first one.
Fucking, I don't know these movies. I don't know them well enough.
Obvi.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with The Departed. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
The
I'm not
Departed.
100% sure and confident in my choice, but the good
Famously
Lord has led me there.
Famously has Alec Baldwin just being sweaty and bumping into shit.
Alec Baldwin. Remember when he played a Republican on 30 Rock?
Yeah. All right, my final pick, number 8 on my roster of best pictures, best picture pictures, is Russell Crowe in 2001's Gladiator.
That's on here? Where is that? I keep looking over it. That movie is so fucking good.
2001.
Oh, duh, it's literally right there.
Another movie I have not seen.
Mike, that movie is good as fuck.
It
made me do a big old cry.
I picked 3 movies on my 8 that I have not seen, and I want to watch them all this week if I can.
You should. And Gladiator has our love Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Is that our love? Do I love Joaquin Phoenix? I mean,
I don't know. We like his acting, and
like
so
him a
I
lot
just
for his
decided we're in
acting,
love with him. No, he's a good actor, but yeah, he's in it when he's young, ish. I don't know how long ago that movie came out. 2001. So
Space Odyssey.
20 years ago.
Okay, so here it is. The rundown. My 8: Rocky, Forrest Gump, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Godfather, Schindler's List, Casablanca, American Beauty, Gladiator. Jesse Neal's list: Parasite, Birdman, A Beautiful Mind, Silence of the Lambs, Rain Man, Braveheart, No Country for Old Men, The Departed.
I think I chose 2 movies I haven't seen, which are Rain Man and what was my list again?
Parasite, Birdman.
Braveheart.
Braveheart. Rain Man and Braveheart. And you made them go up against each other, too.
Yeah. So whichever one wins, maybe I'll watch that one. Maybe I won't watch any of them. Maybe I'll watch both of them.
All right, everyone. So here's your duty starting now, if you're watching live.
Duty.
Go to Affable Idiots Twitter. I will also be retweeting it on my personal account. Jesse, I encourage you to do the same.
I will.
And
I will.
I'm going to alternate.
I'm bad at Twitter. I'm sorry. I'll do it.
I think 3 a day I'm going to try to do. Probably 2 today and then 1 next Sunday morning. There's going to be 15 total tweets. We're going to put up, I'm going to alternate. I'm going to do Jesse's first pair, my first pair. Jesse's second pair, my second pair. We're going to do that for all 15 matchups over the next week to figure out which best picture is the best picture.
I love it. I love it.
I love it. All right, Jesse, I'm excited
so
for next
freaking
week
excited.
to figure out
I am
which
too.
one of these wins. I'm excited to figure out which one of us wins. And then
Yes.
excited to figure out what the other one of us has to draw. So that's your homework before next week is to figure out if you win, what do you have to commission me to draw?
Yes. Can I tell you a story? You know this story. It's
Yes.
a quick story about how I commissioned somebody to draw something once.
Yeah.
It was an ex-boyfriend of mine from college. He was trying to finagle his way back in, as they do, not to be with me, but do things over the phone and break my heart all over again. And so he was trying to do the phone coitus, and I was like, and I was like, no thanks. But instead of saying no thanks, I asked him to tape a marker to his penis and draw me a dinosaur, and he did. And he even made it say, I wish I hadn't deleted that picture from 8 years ago, but I promise not to. If I win, I promise not to ask you to tape anything to your wiener or draw with your wiener. I promise.
Oh, that's
Stupid.
perfect. Jesse, let's move on to our honest discussion. We are an hour in today. Ooh, it's a long
Gosh, we're running long.
Let's move into our honest discussion. If you want to get if you want to hear about a super scary coronavirus scare that I had with my family last week, go back and listen to AAWI episode 28. But this week, on that same kind of topic of coronavirus, since it has become politicized, Jesse, you have a question for us, and it says, what country will you move to if Trump gets reelected?
Because you have
What
to.
sparked this discussion? What kind of ideas are you looking to get?
I just want to know. Basically, I just want to know where you want to go. Like, if you had to leave this country, where would you go? Bruce Springsteen said if Trump gets reelected, he's moving to Australia. It's a definite. It's happening. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And so I just want to know, like, nobody wants to live. I mean, that's not true. Some people want to live in Trump's America, and that's all something. But most sane, even insane, most humans, no, most living, breathing creatures and plants don't want to live in Trump's America because, obviously,
there's going to be a mass plant exodus. We're going to run out of oxygen in the United States.
Everything's leaving. No more oak trees. No more pine trees. We're just going to have
You think you had
tumbleweeds.
Christmas trees? Nope. You're going to have to start buying plastic ones.
Oh, damn. So, if Trump gets reelected, I mean, I'll probably stay here because it'll be too hard to immigrate. But, you know, as an American in the country with the most COVID, and like nobody, who's going to want us? But let's just pretend, let's just pretend that a country would accept us. I just want to know, like, what's your dream? What's your dream country to move to if something like that were to happen? If Nazi Germany becomes the new America, where do you want to go? And I know I would go to New Zealand.
Shut the fuck up. I was going to say New Zealand.
Well, that's okay. We can both say New Zealand. That's good.
Okay.
We can still do this podcast without time zone differences.
That's right.
We can visit and see each other more often because it's a smaller country than this one. And their wonderful prime minister is a woman, which I love. Feminism. Hell yeah. And also alto, balto, something, Age of Ultron.
Oliver Twist.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So she just got reelected for her second term. Right after she was reelected, no, not right after she was reelected, right after she was elected, she gave birth. And not long after that, had to lead their nation through the coronavirus pandemic. And they're one of the only countries who have basically overcome it. I think every now and then they have a few cases pop back up, but like this country's doing well.
Yeah.
They're doing well. There's not a lot of gun violence there, which I love. The people are great. They have the fun accent that I love, and I could learn to do it better. Peter Jackson. We could go to Hobbiton. Is that what that's called?
The Shire.
The Shire. We could go to the Shire.
Yep.
She's also, their prime minister is young, which I love. What's her name? Jacinda Ardern. Wonderful lady. She's the 40th prime minister and the leader of the Labour Party since 2017. I just think the country is well run. They have really taken control of this coronavirus situation. Competent people are running it. I just think that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go there.
I'm gonna be right there with you for assuming that they would let me in, which of course part of the coronavirus strategy is that no, we're not allowed in. Assuming they let me in, it's coronavirus free. They handled it well. Hobbiton, all great things, but also I already speak the language, so I don't have to learn a new language. Everyone, if you're a dude there, ends up looking like Chris Hemsworth because Chris Hemsworth comes from there. So I'm going to eventually look like Chris Hemsworth. I was watching a 2.5 minute tweet from Joe Russo of Avengers Infinity War fame, and he had mentioned that Chris Hemsworth was from New Zealand.
It says he was born in Melbourne, Australia, but that doesn't mean he grew up there.
Okay. Well, either way, they're brothers.
That doesn't mean he grew up there. He could have been born there, and then they're literally next door.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. They're right across the channel from one another.
Right across the channel.
Right across the channel.
How they talk there.
Channel
They don't talk like this. They talk like this. Just kidding. That's still English, but a little bit lower.
So yeah, it's gonna be a great, fun time. Backup plan. If I try to go to New Zealand and they say, nah, better not. First of all, other things I didn't mention. Beautiful, beautiful country. Vistas.
Beautiful country.
Landscapes. Adventure.
I love it. The Guilty Feminist, one of my favorite podcasts other than this podcast. AAWI and Also With You by Affable Idiots. I don't know if you know about it. I don't want to go on about it. But when pre-coronavirus, they tour around. It's an English podcast, but she's from Australia. And they tour Australia and New Zealand all the time. So I could still go and see the live recordings. I could.
Badass.
There's some great comedians from there that I really love that I know because of this podcast. And by this one, I mean that one, not this one that we're on right now.
Which one is this one? AAWI and Also With You?
This one is AAWI and Also With You from Affable Idiots. Not to be confused with Respawning Fire, Wrath, RAF by Affable Idiots. Another great one that I don't listen to because I don't do video games, but that doesn't mean it's not wonderful. Yeah, I think New Zealand is great. But what did you say your backup would be?
Backup plan. If New Zealand doesn't let me in and I still got to go somewhere, yeah, it would be Deutschland. Old Germany.
Me too.
Old Germany. Why Germany? Because, one, I already speak the language. So, like, I speak German. But there are also, everyone in Germany basically speaks English as well, from my experience in many German cities. So it would be really easy to communicate. It also is a country that, with some troubled history, has learned its lesson. So everyone there that I've ever interacted with is always really friendly and really great. Their prime minister, Angela Merkel,
She's wonderful.
She is wonderful.
The three best countries so far as COVID is concerned right now are all run by women. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yup. You're right next to Frankreich, which is how you say Frankreich is France in Germany.
Is that how you say it?
France in German. Frankreich.
Frankreich?
Yep.
Interesting.
You can live on the schönen Rhine, on the beautiful Rhine River.
You can travel around the EU without any difficulty.
Right.
Assuming you have a European passport. So you just become a citizen, get your German passport, and it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how difficult that is, but that's
gonna be great.
Angela Merkel is wonderful.
Yeah.
She is great. She is just a force, that woman. Germany, their healthcare is also really good, which is important. It's really important to have good healthcare. They're doing. I don't think they're doing as well as New Zealand as far as COVID is concerned. But New Zealand is it's a little bit easier, I think, for these island countries because they have borders where it's easy for. It's just easy for people like I live just across the border, but I travel in for work and stuff. I'm sure that's things stuff, but I don't speak the language, but I know Die Pupa. I know Was ist das? Das ist deine Möse.
Yes. Two of the most useful phrases. The puppets and this is my C word.
That is your C word. Cunt. I can say it. I'm a woman. I have one. Oh, man. Oh my gosh! Speaking of cunt, Deborah Francis White, the host of The Guilty Feminist, the podcast I'm always talking about on this podcast, she's a comedian, and she had somebody was telling her to like make jokes about periods or something. Make jokes about period. He's being an asshole, and she said, "Just because I have a cunt and you are one doesn't mean." And I was like, I'm stealing that.
Speaking of, that's another good argument for New Zealand because they just throw that word around like nothing, and it's fun and funny to say.
Yeah, it's not an insult in Australia. Basically,
I mean, it is an insult, but it's the equivalent of like butthead.
Yeah. Like friends will call each other cunts.
Right.
I mean, I do that now, but that's because I'm retaking the word. I'm taking power from the word. It's a great word. I love it. It's my favorite cuss word because this is the season for it too. Because I think cunt, the word, sounds like when you drop a pumpkin and it on the ground. Cunt. It's perfect. This is cunt season. It's not spooky season, it's cunt season.
Oh my God.
I love it.
That's perfect.
It's perfect. So I think New Zealand is... Like if you go up, like let's just say you go up to like the second floor of your house and you drop a pumpkin out onto the sidewalk or the driveway or whatever, and it hits the ground and it splatters. If you were to put a microphone on the ground to record the sound, it is the literal it's the literal saying of the word cunt.
I like to imagine it's the pumpkin screaming that, calling you that for dropping it out the window.
I hope it's the pumpkin calling me a cunt.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. What
and
if
it's able to
pumpkins could
because
come
it's
back and
Jacqueline
haunt
and you
you for
carved a
doing
face in
that?
it.
Yep. I love it. So I think we've come to a consensus. It's New Zealand first, and it's Germany second. Deutschland, where they speak German. Deutsch.
They do. They speak Deutsch.
In the land of German. Deutschland. With de poopa.
De
Lots
poopa.
of poopa.
So many poopas.
Lots of poopa in Germany. I think that was great. I'm glad. So no matter what, we're basically going to end up in the same country. And that makes sense because we're the male and female version of the same person.
That's exactly right. Scott Michaels.
Scott Michaels.
Exactly right. I'm curious what other people think. We won't have a poll asking you because we're going to have 15 polls this week. But just tweet at us and let us know what country you would move to and whether it would be with us.
These hands are small, binaural. Sorry.
Before we get to our new segment, I just want to put a quick plug out there for our other stuff. Like, this is AAWI and also with you from Affable Idiots. Do you remember that? We talked about that already. But no, we need your support. I am thinking about, in the next 4 weeks, starting a new, not a podcast, but a video series. But a short video series that will come out maybe once every couple of weeks. But before I really want to commit to that, I want to know that people want to watch it and want to see it. And you can show me that by subscribing to our stuff on YouTube at AAWI, on Respawn on Fire's YouTube, on Affable Idiots YouTube, because that's how you let me know that you like our content and you want more of it. So that will give me the justification to create this new thing that I would like for all three of us, you, me, and Holden, to create.
Also,
Alta,
if you can also please draw us a picture of a peach as a butt. and upload it to Twitter, and we'll know that means you want us to do it as well.
Yes, peach as a butt. Perfect. Go to Respawn Aim Fire. We mentioned that already. That's our video game podcast. If you're into gaming, game news, etc., etc., etc. And then follow us on Twitter because you have a lot of Twitter activities coming at you this week.
We need you on these polls. We need to know who's going to win because if Mike loses and I win, I got to think of something epic for him to draw. And if he wins and I lose, he has to think of something epic for me to draw. We won't
know who wins until like right before we record next week.
And you are the deciders.
You are the deciders.
Can we vote for our own vote?
Yes, of course.
Can we vote in these?
Yes, and you can campaign as well. So you can retweet the AAWI Affable Idiots tweet, and you can say,
I can totally campaign. Awesome. I'm gonna.
Yes. Although, again, remember, until the very last vote, it is going to be your own movies against your own movies.
Right.
Right.
Well, wait, the last vote?
Yeah, so it's going to be the first 14 votes will be narrowing down each of ours to our number ones.
So my 1 and 2 go against each other. My 3 and 4 go against each other. And then the winners of those. Oh, correct, I thought you were saying my 1 and 2, your 1 and 2, the winners of those go against each other.
No. Thank you for clarifying.
I misunderstood.
Your 1 and 2 go against each other. And then your winner of that goes against the winner of your 3 and 4.
Okay.
Until we figure out your best movie versus my best movie. Sorry, your best picture going against my best picture. Best picture.
Yes, best picture.
That's right.
Perfect.
Jesse, our last segment I want to get into today is a brand new one we just started last week called Dear Aawy. And it's an advice segment that you come to us with your problems, your issues, your things that you need help with, and we give you advice. You can submit these via Affable Idiots on Twitter. Very soon, we will have an extra special new way to submit as well that will probably launch this week.
Is it Liker? The new Facebook? I'm just kidding.
But this week's question, last week, we solved Matt's issue about how do I ask for a raise. This week, we have a submission from Brent, Porkchop 118 on Twitter. I think it's Porkchop 1864 on Twitter.
Was Porkchop Doug's dog?
It was Doug's dog, yes. Brent asks, I'm trying to ask this girl out, but I'm a goldfish. What do I do?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Brent's one of those young people. He just turned 90, And,
What does it mean to be a goldfish?
I don't know if that's like a meme or slang because I'm not young anymore. Is
I'm
goldfish a
Googling,
thing? Is it shy? Or is it just being silly? Like, I'm actually a fish? Like Kanye West, who likes fish sticks. He's a gay fish. I don't know.
Oh. Okay. According to Urban Dictionary, a goldfish is a nickname for a kid who called himself a beta male. But he can't spell, so he typed bets, and now his friends call him Goldfish.
I have no idea what that means.
So he's a beta male? Is that what we're getting at?
So, okay, that does make sense. I want to ask out a girl, but a beta male is someone who would not be as confident or forthright as an alpha male.
As
so
an
maybe
alpha
they're shy.
male.
Okay, Brent. Okay, I get your young people terms.
Yeah, we're getting there. I'm getting there. So you just Google. All we have to do is Google. We can figure it out.
Okay.
It's a type of adorable. Yeah. Oh, that goldfish.
So the question,
what an adorable gold. Sorry, go ahead.
So the question then comes down to, I'm shy. How do I ask out a girl?
Okay. Women like it when, and I think this also goes back to some of the conversation that we were having last week, which all goes back to like how, I know you're a male and you're wanting to ask out a woman, but feminism is universal. It's just universal. It's just the way it is. And women are told, as we discussed last week, to not say like, oh, if you have time, or, if you're interested, or, like to don't like say what you want, but then also be like, don't step back on it, and be like, but if you're too busy, I understand, whatever. I think maybe, whereas we told Matt to set a date and a time, don't do that on a date. That's too much pressure. But I do think if you're going to ask a woman out, it's good if you just go up to her and just like, even if you have to clench your butt tighter than you've ever clenched it because you're nervous and you're scared shitless. Because I know rejection hurts and it sucks. But you can't look, if we're lions on the plains, and the lioness is really the on the plains, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a jungle out there, so that's tigers. It's a jungle out there. So just if there's a specific woman or person, it doesn't have to be male to female for people who are listening, that if there's a person you want to ask out, you decide you're going to do it. Look at yourself in the mirror. Say, you is smart. You is kind. You is important. And know that no matter how you feel about yourself, if you feel you're a goldfish, you poor, wonderful human being, you're not. Unless that's a good thing and I've misinterpreted. Not that it's bad to be a goldfish. Oh, that's not what I mean. What I mean is you are strong and independent. And you just go up to this person that you want to ask out on a date and just say, hey, I like you. I'd like to see where, like if we have stuff in common. Or just be like, I think we have a lot in common. I really want to get to know you better. Would you like to go to dinner with me or something? And I think for a first date, choose something that you can talk through. Don't go to a movie or something like that. You could also do what my boyfriend did, where we'd known each other for a while and he wasn't sure how I felt. So we were at a gathering and he put the back of his hand on the outside of my thigh. Very innocuous. Like he went so if this is my leg, if these are my legs and my crotch is in the middle. He put his hand as far away as possible from my crotch, but on the leg.
Okay.
Do you know? Like just below the hip.
Uh-huh.
And waited for my reaction. My reaction was to put my head on his shoulder, which is very much like a, please pass go and get me into bed. But you can do that too. You can do something like that. Something, you gotta feel it out. Cause if you're gonna do physical contact, you gotta really know the person and also like determine if that's going to be okay. But I think really, honestly, just be straightforward, right? Just say to this person, just take them aside and just be like, look, I think we have a lot in common, and I think you're a really interesting person, and I want to get to know you better. Do you want to go to dinner with me? I love shit like that.
Yep.
Women like that. We like straightforward. We don't like because I'm here to tell you, most women, even though we can come off as super confident and like, in our heads, we're like, does he really mean it? Does he really like me? I don't know. Oh. And so we're just doubting ourselves. So just say what you mean, say what you're thinking and feeling, ask them to dinner or to whatever, where you can talk and get to know each other. I think that's perfect. I would love that.
I think that's great.
What do you think?
So that's Dr. Jesse, who has a bachelor's degree in psychology. So that's the actual response from a psychologist. I have a couple of extra things to add on top of that. I think, yes, Jesse, that's completely right. Be forthright about it. People appreciate candidness, and I think that's
be sure to talk yourself up in the mirror first, though.
Yes, look at your face in the face and say you were kind, you were smart, you was important. But I want to add a couple of extra things onto that. One, make sure that you are being very clear about your intentions.
Yes.
Like, make sure they know that it is a date you are inviting them on as a romantic date. Do not get in the middle. Like, don't ask them to be like, hey, you want to go grab a bite to eat or something like that? And then in your mind, and they say, sure. And in your mind, like, fuck yeah, we're going on a date. And then that other person's like, I'm going to go grab dinner with my friend. And then you get there and it's like, so tell me about your family. And she's like, why is he acting all weird? Make sure it's very, like, you're upfront and be like, would you like to go grab dinner with me on a date? Or would you like to be my date to this? Make sure that they know that it is a date so that they can
be like, I'd love to take you out on a date to dinner.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Or to whatever you're going. I keep saying dinner. It doesn't have to be dinner. That's just what I keep saying.
It doesn't even have to be in person.
That's a good
nowadays, I found out nowadays in the coronavirus times, people are driving their cars to the same parking lot and then rolling down their windows and talking to each other in a parking lot safely with a mask on.
That's beautiful because online dating was so much like men trying to F with women. That's fuck. Trying to fuck women. And
yeah, you could say the C word all over this podcast, but then you shy away from fuck.
From fuck. Fuck.
So definitely be clear.
Yeah.
That's important. 2, if they say no, like, that is not the scariest thing in the world. Like, honestly, most people are like, oh my God, that's really flattering. I appreciate that, but no. Like, and people can continue to go on being friends even after one of them says they don't want to date you. And I know whenever you're young, you think like, oh my God, no, if I ask this person this and they say no, then my life is over and I can never see them again and I can never talk to them again. Yep. That's not the case, especially as you start to get older, young Brent Goldfish. Number 3.
Goldfish.
Number 3. What's fun is that I know that Brent has a pretty serious girlfriend, so I know that this is kind of like a hypothetical. So, number 3, on those same lines,
unless they're opening up their relationship,
perhaps.
I don't know.
In which
I don't know what Brent's relationship
I know your girlfriend's
like.
a pretty strong woman. Have her ask the person out.
Yep. Hey, we're looking for a third.
Number 3, if they say no, move on.
Yeah.
Move on. No one wants to just be completely bugged by you thinking that the friend zone's not a thing. You don't get put in the friend zone. It's like, you're friends. And if they say no, I want to stay friends, you're not going to win them over by constantly asking.
You're not gonna win me over.
Invite me. And my last thing that I would offer you is do not, I know you might think it's romantic, but do not make a giant romantic display effort to ask them out. Do not put on a big banner or start singing a song or have music playing or do anything public as a way of asking them out. Because 1, it is incredibly embarrassing for the person being asked out to be asked out like that in public.
Don't
2,
propose marriage this way either.
Marriage is, unless you are 100% sure they're going to say yes.
Yeah, or they're the type of person who likes that kind of a thing.
Right. And by the time you're about ready to marry somebody, you'll know that.
You should know, yeah.
But also, if they do say no, that is devastatingly embarrassing for yourself as well. So do it in private. Do it and I honestly don't think it's super taboo to do this via text message anymore these days either.
No,
So,
well, especially now.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I've been asked out like that. But I mean, online dating, it's all asking out on the it's essentially text message. So
except that you don't know the phone number yet.
I will tell you that if you're able, and right now I know you can't, I know it's impossible almost to do that right now. I know that most people in general like it when it happens to their face, but also it's safer as far as like your heart goes.
Yeah.
To do it via text, because you know, if you do get rejected, you can react however you want to and not hold back, because it's safer for your heart that way. But you could also even call them. You can text them, you can call them, you can
oh no, please don't call.
WhatsApp.
Please don't call.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know, these younger people, if they're 20, he's a zillennial, right?
I have no idea what they call them.
One of those Gen Zers. I don't know what they're doing. You could TikTok them? Is that what they're doing now? TikTok?
Send them a DM. Slide into their DMs.
Yeah.
Do a little video in their DMs.
You could totally do that. Absolutely, you can do that. Maybe. I think that's fine. And that also it's like safer for the asker and their heart, as far as their like heart goes.
Yep.
But it's also safe for the person you're asking, because if the person, gosh, my nose so itchy, sorry. Maybe I've got a hair I need to pluck. If the person you're asking is going to say no, essentially, this gives them time to think of a response that they can send that is, it's definitely the much safer option.
Yep.
As far from both sides.
100%.
From both sides. 100%. So I think that's totally fine to ask that way. 100%.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Brent, for writing into Dear Aawy. We need a little bit of a Delilah. We need some kind of like music to go along with that.
That's my dog.
That is your dog.
My dog is that radio TV show where her name is Delilah and she does music. She's so
if you have a question you want to ask us or advice you need, tweet at us at Affable Idiots. DM us. Slide into our DMs. Text us if you have our phone number somehow. That is it for episode 29 of AAWY, the And Also With You podcast. Before we leave, you know, we always love to leave you with a parting positive thought. Something to send you off into your week, thinking about how to do good, something good. And with this, Jessie's she's gotten us like a comic, a little tiny comic strip from Kitten Rain, it looks like, is the author. I'm going to actually drag this image onto the screen to let everyone at home who's watching see it. And I'm going to cover up my face with it. But everyone listening at home, it says there's a frame with a cat. And the cat's just sitting there with just kind of a blank face. And it says, I'm really tired of being nice. And then the second frame says, the cat with a smile says, from now on, I'm going to be very nice. So that's it. That's our parting positive
Kill him
thought.
with kindness.
If you're tired of being nice, try being very nice. Kill him with kindness. Thank you all for listening.
That. It's super wholesome.
It's great. It's super wholesome. A Zeal for Kindness, I think, is the name of the.
Maybe that's the name of the strip.
The strip, perhaps.
Or just the title of this two. I don't know how this works.
Whatever it is great. But that's it. Thank you for listening, everyone. Reminder, go to Twitter all this week. Help us vote for what's the best picture. And check us out on Twitter. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. Until next time, hugs and kisses.
Hearts and shards.
Shardy farts.
Ta-ta.